Okay, hello everyone. Today I'll be presenting on case 15, Don't Let Her Get Behind You, which provides a compelling look at the challenges faced by a new supervisor, Betty Rolander, in managing a difficult employee with a history of behavioral issues, Lencia Jackson. My objective is to thoroughly analyze the dynamics at play in this case, evaluate the effectiveness of Betty's initial responses, and provide detailed research-backed recommendations for effectively handling insubordination and fostering a professional work environment within her unit. We'll begin with an introduction to the case study, outlining its purpose. Next, we'll provide background information on the company structure, Betty's role, and the history of Lencia's behavior. We'll then address the key issues of insubordination, Betty's response to these issues, recommended actions, and conclude with important takeaways. This section is also going to provide an overview of the case study of Betty Rolander at Monumental Services Corporation. This case study explores the relationship between Betty Rolander, a manager, and Lencia, an employee who has exhibited insubordination. It focuses on the events leading up to and following key incidents of conflict. The purpose of this presentation is to analyze the situation, understand the underlying issues of insubordination, and provide actionable recommendations for improving workplace relationships and management responses. Let's set the scene with some background. We're looking at Monumental Services Corporation's Administrative Support Division, led by Bud Fuller, and this division encompasses property services, purchasing, and auditing, and crucially, the secretarial support unit under Betty Rolander's supervision, which is tasked with providing support to all three of these departments. Betty supervises four secretaries, one of whom is Lencia Jackson, an employee with nearly 6 years at the company in various roles. Monumental Services Corporation has a clear hierarchical structure with clear roles and responsibilities. This section will outline the organization's design and how it influences employee interactions and management. Betty Rolander serves as the manager within the company, responsible for overseeing team operations and ensuring productivity. Her leadership style and approach to management play a significant role in addressing insubordination. Uh, Lencia is presented as a significant pre-existing personal problem. She's described as having a bad attitude, haughty, abrasive, and antagonistic towards colleagues and even Betty when receiving feedback. What's particularly concerning and what Betty discovered early on is that Lance's personnel file contained complaints about her interpersonal skills from almost every previous boss. This fact that no formal action was taken previously meant this ongoing issue essentially became Betty's to inherit and resolve. This section highlights the critical issues arising from Lancia's behavior, which have contributed to the conflicts with Betty and the overall workplace environment. Lancia's poor attitude has been a significant factor in her interactions with colleagues and management. Hostility is a key thing that needs to also be highlighted because her hostility is not only directed towards Betty but also towards her colleagues, which has led to a toxic work environment. Thus, hindering collaboration and productivity. In this section, we'll analyze how Betty has responded to the insubordination issues, evaluating the effectiveness of her actions and their impact on the team. Let's examine how Betty initially handled these challenges. When Mr. Coleman complained, Betty confronted Lancia, but the conversation quickly escalated. Betty became defensive herself, and the issue was not resolved, leaving both parties frustrated. This interaction highlights a common pitfall, and getting drawn into an emotional argument instead of focusing on the specific behavior and its impact. As communication experts know, maintaining composure and sticking to facts is crucial in difficult situations and conversations. The effects of Betty's initial response to the complaints had various outcomes, influencing team morale and Lancia's behavior. This analysis will highlight success and areas needing attention. This section will present recommendations for Betty on how to effectively address the insubordination issue with Lancia and improve overall workplace dynamics. Betty would need to address the complaint from Mr. Coleman professionally and constructively, ensuring that the concerns are validated and communicated appropriately to maintain trust within the team. It's first handling future complaints like Mr. Coleman's requires a different strategy. Betty should calmly listen, thank the person for reporting, and assure them it will be addressed according to company procedures. When speaking with Lencia, Betty must remain professional and firm. The conversation should focus on the reported behavior, its conflict with professional standards, and the expectation for improvement. Basically, resources on corrective coaching and performance management. Establishing clear expectations for Lancia is essential in guiding her behavior and ensuring that she understands her role within the team. This will foster accountability and encourage positive behavior. Secondly, Lancia's insubordination regarding the training warranted a formal response. Betty's action to cancel the vacation provided a clear consequence tied directly to the failure to comply, which was effective in getting Lancia to complete the task. However, the behavior itself, the deliberate delay in described required formal documentation. This is where the written disciplinary notice is essential. A well crafted notice serves multiple purposes. It clearly communicates the seriousness of the behavior, which in this case is insubordination and unprofessional conduct, creates a formal record, outlines the expected improvements, uh, sets the stage for future disciplinary actions if the behavior reoccurs, and based on the research into HR best practices and labor law considerations, disciplinary notices should be specific, factual, and non-emotional, and clearly state the potential consequences of continued issues. Texts and articles on employee relations and progressive discipline provide detailed guidance on the content and process for issuing such notices. The notice should reference specific incidents like the failure to train and the history of complaints about interpersonal skills. Uh, Basically, Betty needs to be professional when explaining its purpose. just to ensure there's accountability. As shown on my slide, starting with guiding behavior, it's important that clear expectations are spelled out to guide her behavior, and she also needs to understand her role within the team to increase the effectiveness of teamwork, and also fostering accountability and encouraging positive behavior. To conclude, the Don't Let Her Get Behind You case offers invaluable lessons. It underscores that unresolved past issues in an employee record can significantly impact future dynamics. It highlights the detrimental effect of insubordination and toxic behavior on team function and morale. Crucially, it demonstrates that effective leadership requires more than just hoping for improvement. It demands clear communication, setting boundaries, documenting performance issues, and the courage to apply formal disciplinary processes when necessary. From a personal reflection standpoint, this case reinforced for me the importance of a supportive organizational structure. Bud Fuller's intervention was pivotal in empowering Betty. It also highlighted the need for supervisors to be trained in conflict resolution and formal performance management procedures. Navigating difficult employee situations is challenging, but by approaching them systematically and professionally and with proper documentation, supervisors like Betty can regain control, ensure accountability, and work towards creating a more productive and respectful environment for the entire team. It's a reminder that leadership isn't always about being liked, but about effectively managing the people and performance for the good of the team and the organization. Thank you.